Good morning, my loves. Happy Thursday. It is a rather chilly morning here at the lake. It's about 60 degrees. The high today's 80, but it's going to be a good day. It's all about your perspective. If you want it to be a good day, make it a good day. It's up to you. Today, we are discussing labels. This is such an important topic, please. I am asking you as a favor, watch this and share it. It's that important. We are given labels from the moment we're born, often even before we're born. And we carry some of those labels with us the rest of our life. We are given labels every day, maybe by ourselves, maybe by other people. Those labels, they have weight. They mean something. When people tell you something about yourself, good, bad, or indifferent, that sticks. It can stick. And you carry that with you as a burden sometimes. And what people fail to realize are those labels, honey, they're like Post-it notes. You can tear them off anytime you want and give yourself a more appropriate label. And that's what we're talking about. So we're going to start with before somebody's born. Your baby, whatever, baby Smith, baby Jones, whatever. You're going to be the youngest, you're going to be the only child, the only grandchild, whatever. There's a label. As soon as that baby's born, the labels start coming in. They're cute, they're ugly, they're fat, they look like their mom, they look like their dad, they look like Uncle Waldo, whatever. But the labels start. And as that child grows and ages, the labels just increase. The weight of those labels increase. So by the time the child's a toddler, they're either brilliant, somebody's telling them, oh, they're going to be a genius, they're going to be president, they're going to be a priest, they're going to be a nurse, a teacher. They already have your life filled out for you. They already know. Or they can be very, very hurtful. They're just like so-and-so. Oh, every time I look at them, I just see so-and-so. That's a painful label to give a little kid. They start school. Well, they're either the best reader in class, they're brilliant, they're smart, they're smarter than the teacher, smartest one in their class, or maybe they're stupid, they're dumb, they're slow. The R word, which I just hate that word, retarded. I hate that word. And then you have the labels other kids give each other. Fat, stupid, dopey. And then there's the positive labels that some kids give. But I think, the tendency is for kids to give other kids negative labels, which can be a learned behavior. Oftentimes they learn that from their parents, because parents will call each other names and call neighbors names. So it's a learned behavior. Kids copy that. So look at all of the labels a 5 or 6-year-old is already carrying. And they're 6 years old. Please. That's not fair. That's not right. I want you, no idea how old you are or who I'm even speaking to, but I want you to think back, best that you can, to your youngest memories and some of the labels you remember hearing, because I remember hearing some. And I was probably 2 or 3 hurtful, horrible things that were said. Have to remember, I was anorexic. I was super skinny. Super pale skin, bright red hair, even as a baby. And there were some very hateful, hurtful things said to me, even in my own home, by my parents, by family members. It happens to all of us. Now, maybe it's said in anger, doesn't matter. Once you hear it, it's there. Think back to your childhood. Some things that somebody told you that you remember like it happened yesterday. The hurtful things maybe your best friend said, a teacher said, whatever. It's still there. That weight is still there. And as you get older, junior high, oh, how painful is junior high? Ah, my gosh. The hormones, the acne, all of that, the awkward stage, trying to fit in, new labels. And as you get older into high school and college, new labels. New labels from, people you go to school with, from just people in the community, people that know your family and give you labels because of who you're related to. That happens all the time. Who your siblings are. Just think about all the labels you have been given your whole life that you are carrying. They're like sweaters, layers and layers of sweaters that you have been wearing your entire life. That gets heavy and hot and burdensome. Just think about that. And what you don't realize is, sweetheart, you can take those sweaters off. You can take those labels off anytime you want. An exercise that I like to do with clients, I will give them 2 stacks of Post-it notes and 1 stack. And I give you plenty. I want you to write down all of the negative, mean, hateful, hurtful things that you remember being told throughout your life. We can go through some Post-it notes now. There can be a lot. Okay? And then we go to a full-length mirror or whatever mirror you have available, and I want you to put those Post-it notes all over that mirror. Just cover it. Okay? And then we're going to sit down and we're going to write down the positive attributes that are really you, who you really are, what you want people to see in you. Your loyalty, your smile, your good heart, you're kind. Maybe you're absolutely brilliant. Maybe you're in recovery. Maybe you're in remission. Just all kinds of things. You're a mom, you're a dad, you're a teacher, a doctor, a nurse, a plumber, a caregiver. Everything. How you see you. All of the good things that you see in you. And then we go over and we stand in front of that mirror and we take off one negative label and we put a positive one on. And we keep going until all the negative labels are gone. And generally there are more negative labels than there are positive labels. And that's okay. Because we're going to rearrange those positive labels around the silhouette of your face or your body, however big your mirror is. Because I want you to see you clearly. With clarity and with authenticity, and to step into your authenticity and be proud of who you are. Be proud of all those positive labels, and to hell with the negative labels that may have been said out of spite, anger, revenge, hate, malice, ill will, jealousy, envy. Those don't mean anything. That was someone's opinion. Well, their opinion really doesn't matter, does it? The only opinion that matters is yours. How you see you, how you feel about you. Because, sweetheart, I promise you, you are so worthy of such greatness. And we're going to get there. But you have to start with the labels. And now I want you to think about your family. If you're a parent, your kiddos, what labels have you given them? How many times have you looked at your child and said, oh, you are so like so-and-so. Oh, every time I look at you, I see. Or you're just like. Think about it. How many times have you said, why can't you be as smart as athletic as graceful as good a student as a sibling? That's not a very fair label to give somebody, is it? We're all individuals. Trust me, I have a brother that was truthfully a star athlete. He signed with the major leagues until he was injured in training, and that ended that career. Honey, I do good to walk across the floor, and that's not even chewing gum. I am not a graceful person. I am not athletic. I love sports. I love to play tennis. Yeah, that's a sight to see, but I am not athletic. I was a great student, but so was he. But the labels were always there. You don't need that. Don't compare your kids. They're individuals. Appreciate people for who they are as they are. See people for who they are as they are. Don't try and change them. Love them for who they are as they are, not who you wish they could be, not who you can change them into or mold them into. People you're dating, honey, come on, see them for who they are. Red flags are there for a reason. See them for who they are, not who you can change them into be, who you wish they were, who you can change yourself to be to fit into their world. See yourself for who you are, your labels, your greatness, your worth, everything that you've accomplished. All your hopes and dreams are out there. They're waiting for you. They're waiting for you to take off those negative labels, to put on some positive labels. Believe in yourself and make it happen because you're worthy.